And now we are live.
There's no one here.
Not yet. Not yet. There will be.
They're all coming. Oh, that reminds me. I should post about it on Twitter or something, like a true social media influencer.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
Now I'm tweeting it right now too.
Everybody come on.
You're behind the schedule. We were already starting to talk about freaking games and stuff, and now everyone's gonna be like, well, what's going on?
They're gonna everyone on their phone and just
I know. Like, why are you all on your phone?
Down.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead and they can just join in the conversation. So, if anyone, hello, welcome, if you're joining us. If anyone is here, please let us know who you are so we can say hi. Welcome to the third episode of our live happy hour. And with us, we have my favorite Slytherin, Jenna from Bibliophile.
Oh no, she's Slytherin?
She is a Slytherin. I'm a Gryffindor and me a Hufflepuff.
We're mortal enemies, Jenna.
Huh?
We're mortal enemies.
We are, yeah. But
I totally forgot.
We can set it aside for one night.
So, Jenna, if you'd like to introduce yourself, please do so.
Well, hi, I'm Jenna. My channel name is Bibliofilth, and I talk mostly about young adult, science fiction, fantasy, and comic books. So if any of those interest you, or if they don't, just come anyway and watch. I think I'm funny. So.
You are funny.
If you enjoy our videos, you'll enjoy her videos.
They'll enjoy her videos even more because she's just so...
You have a great energy. She's very energetic in her videos.
She doesn't sugarcoat anything too. She says it like it is.
That's great.
Yeah. Hence being in Slytherin house, keep it real.
Yeah, that's not me.
Brutal.
I fit
in brutally honest.
You know what Thomas says? He says all Hufflepuffs are too soft.
They're not too soft.
They're like poofy little clouds.
Poofy?
Poofy little clouds. That's how soft they are. That's why they don't ever win anything.
What?
Oh. So this is just going to be the anti-Hufflepuff live stream.
Yeah. I knew you first before him. Don't you dare gang up on me. Hi, Luis. Welcome to the party. Mabuti naman ikaw. He's just spoken to. He said good evening too. Magandang gabi.
Evening.
Hello. Sorry, I promise I will stop looking at my phone in like 2 seconds. I did not prepare and properly post this around to my social medias. They're all like frantically like, oh my God.
Join us.
This is just very casual. Very casual. Oh my God.
I would post it to mine, but
he barely has any followers.
I have 26 people that follow me.
Yeah.
And maybe 7 of them are, 7 of those 26 are like political. So, yeah.
That's a whole different discussion.
Lori's getting better in Filipino Tagalog.
Oh,
nice.
Nice. Oh, I need to get back into studying. I've been slacking. Hi, Avery. How are you? Are any of you drinking with us, Luis? I know it's morning, so I don't know if you are drinking.
Yeah, that's supposed to start.
But if you missed it, you're here with Jenna.
Hello.
And once I said that, she just had to, go against the Hufflepuff love. So
just
I don't know.
A little bit. Just a little. You know what? Hufflepuffs are necessary though, because if there's too many Slytherins and Gryffindors, everyone's going to get in a fight. Nothing's going to get done. Everyone's going to hate each other.
Lori's always the fun one.
Yeah.
I've always been known as the mom. Like the mom friend.
That's what I mean.
That was the mom friend fun.
Oh, I'm trying to be nice.
Your mom's going to make sure that no one dies and that everyone is wearing scarves. And that they're well fed. So it's very important.
I like it.
Yeah.
Lewis, I'm actually going back on nights on Friday. So yeah, I will be on my shift will be Filipino time.
Oh, you know what's funny though? When you know how he's drinking right now, right? So normally it's normal to have a drink after a long day of work, right? So when he's working at night, he'll drink Jack and Coke in the morning at like 8 o'clock. When he gets back to work, he's like, this is my 8 p.m. I can drink.
Oh,
and I had a shitty day.
when I go in on night shift, the other operators will be like, "Good morning." It's not even like, yeah, it's just good morning. I don't even worry about it. My day always starts with good morning.
Speaking of jobs, Jen, I remember that in one of your recent videos, you mentioned that you were like in marketing.
Yes.
So like, what I'm kind of curious because my sister is kind of, I guess it's online marketing. So like, what do you do in your field, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, no, I don't mind. I work at a digital marketing and web design agency. So we create websites and do whole strategies for companies, mostly medium-sized businesses. And my specific job is that I do all of the content. So I do, that's like a wide bucket, but website content, emails, social media, online ads, blogs, basically anything that you see online that's written, that's kind of the realm that I'm in. So a little bit more on the marketing side, just because when you're writing for a website, you usually just kind of do that and then you're done for a couple of years. You don't update it like you do if you're doing ads, you're updating that like every 30 days. If you're doing blogs, you're regularly posting blogs. So I'm a writer.
Yeah, you are. I would consider you a writer for doing that. So basically you promote these certain businesses, I guess.
Yeah, so it's like trying to think of an example, but all the ones I can think of are like really, really large companies. So just like disclaimer, I don't work for any of these companies, but if you ever see like, you know, Taco Bell, for example, they have a Twitter strategy and they'll engage with people and they'll post stuff on Twitter, or they'll post things on Facebook, or maybe if you see like an ad pop up, like if you're shopping online and an ad just starts following you everywhere, or on Facebook, the ads that you see when you
you talk about it and it'll be on your Facebook.
Yeah, now Twitter. You're going to start getting oh yeah, that's because Facebook says that they don't listen in, but
it's creepy. Yeah, it's really creepy how you let's say you look at a certain book, like say on Goodreads, and then Facebook all of a sudden pops up that same.
Oh yeah.
That's why my TBR is so big. Is Facebook has literally found out what books I like.
Yeah.
I'll go down and I'll read it and I'll go, wow, why couldn't I find this book years ago? I would have loved it then. Now it's kind of like,
not interested. Yeah, that's a large part of what I do is like zeroing in on people, and we use Google, but Facebook as well, because you can get very, very specific on Facebook. It's really scary how much information you can know about people. Just like barely up to what their name is, that will be hidden, but you can know almost like every other detail, and you can get really, really detailed on the kind of people you want to advertise to. So I find it interesting but creepy at the same time.
That is pretty crazy. I assumed that would happen. I don't do any of those 50 question things where it asks all these really simple questions. Because if you look at those questions, generally those are your bank account information.
Yeah. Your like security questions. Yeah. Like what's your mother's maiden name? And yeah, it's Facebook and Google both. Not to like freak anybody out that's watching. This is going to be like the paranoia stream, but if you have either one of those and you log in, they do follow you around as you're online. So like you said, you're on Goodreads. If you were logged into Facebook or if you're logged into Google, it tracks you and it says, oh, this person is going to Goodreads and they're looking at these books. They are probably in X, Y, and Z demographic, and then they'll start sending you ads that they think that you're going to like. Sometimes it's accurate. Sometimes it's way off base, but that's creepy. I don't program it. I just mindlessly exploit the software that exists currently. So, I do more of the blogs and like website content, less of the advertisement, but I do some of that as well.
My sister, I think, is trying to get into blogging right now. She hasn't done it in a little bit just because some things have come up, but it's confusing how, well, not confusing, but it's just crazy how much work you have to put into just to get your blogs out there, like to get kind of an audience interaction, like what she's kind of struggling at the moment. And also I told her, because I mentioned her tonight because she called me, and I told her we're having a live show tonight, and I said, oh, well, our friend Jenna, she's actually into marketing. She goes, oh my gosh, can I be her friend?
Yeah,
she's on Twitter. Yeah. Twitter.
If she wants to reach out on Twitter, I'd be happy to point her in the direction of some, how-to stuff for blogs. It's a lot because it's not just sitting down and vomiting out everything in your mind. You have to write it in a certain way so that it shows up in Google and so that people will read it. So, which is SEO, search engine optimization. It's a big part of anything online that you do is trying to make it so that Google likes it and then they'll show it when people are searching for certain phrases that you want them to be.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too.
I definitely have opinions about that.
Of course you do. About everything. But
I'll leave those off air for it.
No, I agree because I work in it, but it does, like, on a personal level, I like my privacy. And it's like when you're in that industry and you realize just how much information they have on you, it's freaky. It's a trade-off because Facebook and Google are free, but that's why, because they're collecting your information, man. But
oh yeah, I've had guys at work that are like, oh, I won't ever get the ancestry done because I don't want the government my information. I was like, dude, you realize how much blood they've drawn from you in your entire life? They have everything.
Yeah. They already have that. Yeah, your insurance does.
They have your blood type. They have everything.
Or they're not supposed to discriminate, based on your medical history anymore, but they used to. If you went into the doctor's office for anything, like, oh, it says here that you went into a doctor's office one time for migraines, so now you're denied, X, Y, and Z. Just crazy, crazy stuff.
Well, we're up to 6 chatters.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't tell who's watching. So I know Steve is here and Louise and Avery. Avery mentioned about the appendicitis. Now let me just do a little rant here.
Oh,
I've got the drink I can rant. Okay?
Let it out.
You shush that hand. Shush it. I don't want to see that hand. First of all, this man smack you. Not on camera. I can't do that. That'd be no. Stop.
You did last time.
I did. And nobody saw. So I love this guy, right? He's just, he's great. He's great. But honestly, if you're feeling a lot of pain, you should really not ignore it and go straight to the hospital. But what does he do? He goes to work. He goes to work. Thankfully, I know the money, but stop. It ain't gonna matter if you're dead. And
you get money if I die.
Yeah, this is true. No, we're not going to talk about
Wait a second.
But, I mean, the truck drivers were on my side saying, you're here alone, your appendix could have burst, and then what? Then what? Then what? Then what?
It happens.
Exactly. So you should have just gone straight to the hospital in the first place. That is my rant.
So here was the explanation.
See, Avery agrees with me. She says no.
So here's the explanation of that craziness you just saw. Craziness.
I'm going to do it.
So Friday night, massive stomach cramps, intense pain. Thought, maybe it's a stomach flu.
Steve, you are not helping.
And so I wake up Saturday morning and all the pain has gone down to my right side. And it dropped down from a 9.7 to about a 3. Now, in my opinion, that's, I'm doing good now. I can go to work. It's my overtime week. I need the money.
Oh, money this, money that. I understand we need money to survive, but damn it, your health.
But you're still alive, so that's a good sign.
And here was the other thing, too. So they do the CT scan. And the guy goes, yeah, it's exact words, quoting, "It's only slightly inflamed with a small amount of fluid."
And you still were in that much pain because of that little bit of swelling. Imagine if you waited.
3 and a 7.
Shush.
Oh.
If you waited. I said,
So, Jenna.
I agree with Lori. I think we might have a bit of a gender divide here in the comments too, but it's all the women are like, go to the hospital, go to the hospital. But I'm glad you're okay. That can be serious.
Oh, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm more dead than alive at this point.
oh my God.
Hey.
I'm sure
You know.
your wife wouldn't want you dead. Even with the money. And the money's nice.
It doesn't last.
Money doesn't last, so.
It'll just help, you know.
So why don't we talk about, because me, I don't know, how are all these people following Jenna? If you haven't followed Jenna, click the link down below in the description. Follow her. She's amazing. But one of the things she does talk about on her channel is video games, which is awesome. And why don't we go ahead and discuss.
Before we get into that.
Oh, you interrupted me again.
Before we get into that, Lori said if we get to six people watching,
No,
we
wait.
would do a shot.
Shit.
I'm trying to walk it back.
Oh my God.
We have the shots.
Cheers, Jenna.
Cheers.
Here we go.
Ooh.
That was so smooth.
Oh, that was rough.
What were you thinking about suggesting shots? Or did I suggest shots?
You suggested
I
shots.
suggested.
That was your fault.
Ooh, we did it. How was your vodka?
Very much like nail polish remover. Honestly. Kind of the same vibe, but it went down. It didn't come back up.
Yeah, I don't do shots
It's
for you.
really sitting in my throat, but it's slowly going down.
That one like hit the back of my throat, went back up, and then hit the hanging thing.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I had to force it.
Right here, right now.
My throat wouldn't open all the way, so it just went go. I'm just like, damn. And I was just sitting in my chest. Funny thing about shots, though, the first time I took shots was my 21st, obviously my 21st birthday. This was before the party we were talking about at Beat Dubs, right? Okay. So I went on a family dinner at El Cerro's, this wonderful Mexican restaurant, and the people that work there have known me and my sister since we were like itty bits, and they gave us shots of tequila. Didn't have to pay for it, right? That was my first ever shot. And then when we got back, my dad said, hey, let's have another shot. I was
Lori did 4 shots of tequila.
Oh my gosh, I was
on top of a large margarita.
Oh yeah, I had a margarita with my mom. And
I had to finish.
Never, ever took another tequila shot ever again.
I can imagine the next day what that was like. You only turn 21 once. That's, everyone has to have that birthday where you go way too far and immediately regret it and say you're never going to drink again. Then a couple weeks later, you drink again. But
that was every birthday up to my 21st birthday. Unfortunately, I celebrated my 21st birthday with near beer in Afghanistan. So that's
yeah,
it's like
that is
0.005%. If you're lucky.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh well, at least I experience it before.
I drank so much booze in the Marine Corps. It's ridiculous. Even before the Marine Corps, I drank too much booze.
He would actually not snap. You weren't using Snapchat then. I can't talk. Why is my mouth feeling them already?
There goes the shot.
So, I apologize to our viewers, but this is what you get. So, oh, hi, Danny. How are you? She says, mine was my bachelorette party. I had way too much rum. This has 4 shots of coconut rum.
No, not 4 shots of coconut rum.
Coconut one?
Yeah.
You can't talk either.
I'm trying to talk fast to catch up with you.
Oh, sorry. I will talk slower.
So, on to the video games.
Sorry, I got sidetracked. I forgot what this is.
Rum with another liquor that's, I think it's almost like a vodka. It's a fruity one because she likes her fruity stuff.
I'm a girly.
Yeah.
The girly drinks are good too.
So on to video games. What would we like to discuss first? Which would we like to go to the dark side of zombies and
Or we could be happy and talk about Kingdom Hearts.
or we can go in the middle and talk about Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's true too. Oh, we should let a chat vote and decide what they want us to talk about.
Hey, we can do a Twitter poll.
Comment below.
Yeah, comment. Throw some comments. Get some.
All right, Kingdom Hearts, Resident Evil, or Red Dead. What we should start with.
On that note, while our audience is deciding, what got you into doing YouTube?
I just watched BookTube for a long time before I started thinking about creating my own channel. I can't remember what the first channel exactly was, but I somehow stumbled into BookTube because I read a book that I didn't like. And I went to Google and I typed in name of book hate to see what would come up. And I ended up on YouTube, and it was a very popular book that seemingly like everybody else loved. So I didn't even know that it existed until I found this video. And then of course you got all the recommends as soon as you watch a video on the side. So I fell into the trap. And I noticed after I started watching BookTube videos, like I could do that. I could just sit there and ramble about nothing. And I would kind of do that like on my commute. I would like talk loud like I was on BookTube just in my car, and like, yeah, I could just sit in front of a camera and
Talk about books.
do it.
And then you have that camera in front of you for the first time, and it's like,
Yeah.
red lights.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the first video that I uploaded was definitely not the first video that I filmed. I filmed a couple before then that got deleted, and then I finally, it's like, all right, we'll just do it. Just do it. Just upload it.
Why don't we just go ahead and talk about Resident Evil?
Oh, I do have another question.
Oh, you do? Okay, go ahead.
What Bibliofilth? It's interesting. What made you pick that as a name?
I was trying to think of what to use as my channel name, and I knew I didn't want to do my name because my name is Jenna, but it's spelled with one N, and no one gets that on the first try. They're like, is it Gina? You know, what is that? So I'm like, I don't want to be dealing with the headache of trying to correct everyone putting that in the comments or putting that in the name. And I don't even know how I thought of it. I was just kind of thinking of bookish related words, and I kept thinking of like bibliophile and what you could use instead of file at the end, and like, well, there's filth, and I kind of just thought that was funny because I talk a lot about genres that are like traditionally not considered academic, like science fiction, fantasy, and comic books traditionally have been kind of dismissed as like trashy and not real literature. So I thought it was fitting because I roll around in the trash. I love that. I love fantasy. I do like some real literature, but that's what I prefer is fantasy. So
Very few and far between.
yes. I was actually an English major back in college, and that kind of killed any desire to read classic novels. There were some that were good, but there were just so many that were a slog to get through. And I'm like, I don't care about these old white whatever people in the 1700s with their drama. I don't care what they're doing. This is so boring, and it's 800 pages long.
Yep.
So I just ran away.
Although you and I, we both kind of read the fantasy, the big, thick fantasy books. So we do the long pages.
Yeah, they're so long. Yeah.
As long as you enjoy it.
Yeah. And I don't want to be, hypocritical and trashing at another genre because I was just complaining that people do that to fantasy. So I don't want to turn around and, be mean because obviously all classics are not the same. But
yeah.
I think for fantasy, it captures my attention because there's a new world. So a lot of it is like figuring out how the world works and like the lore and the history. So it makes it a little bit more interesting, and it feels like, to me, more justified why it's longer, because you have all these pages that are like explaining
World
this
building.
entire universe and how it works.
I definitely, that's one of the main reasons why I always go fantasy, is because I have enough problems with day-to-day life. I don't read about day-to-day life and I tend to figure things out too quickly.
Oh my gosh, it's annoying.
Contemporary, is that contemporary? About real
You
life?
had no idea what contemporary was until I brought it up.
I knew what it was. I just didn't know what it was.
Contemporary? Why would anyone read about ordinary life? Like we already live it. Why?
So I read fantasy to get me out of that.
Yeah, I agree. And if I do, me personally, if I read books that are not fantasy, I like to read ones that are about like life experiences that I haven't experienced or probably wouldn't. Like I do like historical fiction as well. I've read a decent amount of historical fiction, and things like World War II and like Vietnam War and stuff that obviously I would never experience because I'm not a time traveler. Can't go back and experience it. So it's like you're still getting a new perspective on something. That's I like that.
History of the Marine Corps, First to Fight. Check it out. It's awesome.
What is that? Sorry.
It's First to Fight. It's the history of the Marine Corps from day one to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Awesome. First to Fight.
You're also biased.
I had to read it. Well, yeah. Marine.
There might be a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah.
I love the Marine Corps. I love the Marine Corps now that I'm out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah, he loves it more. Complain about it while he was in, but I think that's like every.
The military is an extension.
That's every person. Yeah, I have a lot of military family members. The exact same.
I appreciate all of their services.
Oh yeah, every time he sees one event, I don't know how he recognizes them, because I guess maybe I don't pay attention to it, but I don't see a hat on them, and he'll just know by maybe the way they talk, be like, "Thank you for their service." I'm like, "How did you even know? How did you know?"
They put a little biosensor in your head when you join the military. So it's like a little beacon that goes off when you walk past someone else. That's
it doesn't help that
vet 2 o'clock. Go big.
You're in the Navy. Go over there.
an anchor, which is the Marine Corps' emblem.
Yeah.
Has followed me since the Yellow Footprints, and it won't leave me alone. I see it everywhere. It's like the number 20. What was it? The number 24. Or with
the funny guy was Jim Carrey.
Yeah, the funny guy that's like a lunatic now. Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Jim Carrey. Yeah, 23. That was it. Yeah, I remember the movie. It's a weird one.
Awkward silence.
So on to video games.
Okay.
We'll talk about Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
All right.
So Lori has not played the whole 12.
Not the whole 12. How are you supposed to play the whole 12?
Yeah, no. I haven't either. I'm like, I don't even. They're on different systems too.
Yeah, that's why my sister, she's played.
Hey Todd, thanks for joining.
Is that really? Huh?
Todd Librarian has joined us.
Hold on. Wait,
celebrity.
Todd is actually watching.
Hi Tabby, I didn't see you.
I said hi Todd. Cheers, Todd. I drink. Took a shot earlier. My brain's feeling a little fuzzy. It really is. Like, I'm woo. Anyways, yeah.
Got the water. Got the water.
So I've only played Birth by Sleep.
That one was fun.
With the big guy.
Shoot, what was his name? There was Roxas. There was Aqua.
Roxas.
And then Roxas is not a big guy.
Yeah, he is. He's the big guy.
No, that's not. Roxas is the youngest of the 3.
The one that looks like Sora.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
I've only played the first 2. I haven't played any of the other ones. So I like know who some of the characters are, but it's been a while since I played them. So I know who the main characters are, obviously. Sora, Roxas, Axel, Kairi, Riku?
Riku, yeah.
So,
So
you're an
what's,
asshole friend that like runs off.
what's the connection between Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts?
Oh yeah, I'm wondering.
Why was Cloud,
Yeah.
who is not a Disney character, in Kingdom Hearts?
I cannot tell you the
That
why. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah, it just because I don't watch a lot of Final Fantasy. I maybe like watch maybe one or two movies, but I do recognize Cloud. I just can't remember. Oh, it's a video game. They made movies of Final Fantasy.
no.
To be fair, there's a movie with Cloud in it, so
Yes.
that's entirely wrong.
She's thinking Final Destination.
Was that?
Oh,
Yes.
Really?
They've made very few Final Fantasy movies.
Okay, I'm done thinking and drinking.
Hey, you're a poet and you don't know it.
Hey.
Lewis, I greatly appreciate you saying that. I do enjoy the old Final Fantasy versus the new ones.
Oh.
I have to see the title on which ones, because I played one on floppy disk back way back, and I don't know which one it was.
Did you play Final Fantasy VII, Jenna?
yes. I'm not super into Final Fantasy, so the only two that I've played all the way. Oh, actually, the only three that I've played all the way through are Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy X, and Final Fantasy Tactics, I think it's called. It was a Game Boy game. And I have started a couple of other ones and then never finished them. So I started whatever the one is with Vincent and then never finished it. And I think I started 15 and got like through the opening scene and never finished it.
Yeah, I played the newest, or not the newest one, the one where you drive around the car for
Yeah.
about an hour, and I was like, this is garbage. Why did they do this? They're
Yeah.
ruining the game.
Yeah, and then too. We're talking about some games.
I didn't get to the ending. I don't know what happened.
Oh,
You spoiled it.
Oh, I did.
It's like, I want to know.
I didn't like the
on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not as big a fan of what's it, JRPGs, I think is what it's called, like Final Fantasies like that. But I do like some of it. Final Fantasy VII is really, really fun. That's a good, very solid game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. And 10 is the one that just like everyone that had a PlayStation 2 had 10. I don't even remember buying it. I just have it.
Yeah, and then you had 2, which was the after, which I played both of them and beat them.
Toss the car in a Final Fantasy game. Oh, well, I'm glad I missed that one.
Just living the glory days. Don't even buy it. Don't even look at it. It's absolute garbage.
Louis says during the early days when internet isn't too common, you have to make it on your own. Oh gosh, I remember when my mom was trying to figure out the internet. My poor mom, because my dad was deployed, and she sat in the library for an hour not knowing how to send an email.
So we had someone at GameStop today that had never heard of Wi-Fi.
Oh, really?
Oh.
So the guy was middle-aged, reeked of cigarettes. Where he stood smelled like cigarettes for 5-10 minutes after he left.
Oh, yeah, he asked us where the PC games were.
PC games and GameStop.
Oh, yeah.
So
you probably haven't been able to buy for like 5 years at this point.
it's all downloads.
Crazy.
And so they did that, and I tried to help the guy that was trying to help the guy, and I was like, dude, you're gonna have to download it. Well, what do you mean download it? Because he wanted to play a slots game. And his free trial had expired, and he had to have internet in order to download it.
Okay.
And he was completely lost in the sauce and was getting angry with the guy doing it, and it was like,
not his fault.
no, you have to have internet. Well, I don't know what the internet is.
Maybe he's just been trapped in his house playing the slots game for years, and he accidentally traveled through time just completely.
I know that he was lost.
Oh yeah,
Poor guy.
that's funny. Yeah,
So-
well, speaking of early days of games, that does remind me. This I don't have the comments up, so I apologize. I don't remember who commented this, but someone was talking about how you had to make it on your own. So they used to have the guides that you could buy that would like walk. It was like the paper guides that would walk you through a game, and in the back, yeah, they'd have a phone number you could call if you got stuck. And my brother, when he was young, I think it was Super Mario 64, but he called the number and they charge you by the minute. It was like $3 a minute. Stuck on this level, and I just remember that so vividly because as soon as my parents got the phone bill, it was dead, deceased. They were so pissed because it was like $20 because he was on the phone with them for however many minutes.
Oh no!
So that's what we used to have to do if you couldn't get past a game, or you just didn't get past it. So
Mario 64 and Donkey Kong 64 and Super Smash Brothers for the 64. And Mario Kart 64. All three of those are just absolutely amazing.
I feel
yes,
so I've never played any of
the 64 has really good games.
Well, I got the Switch, and I bought Donkey Kong, thinking it was going to be like Donkey Kong 64. No.
Oh.
I was angry. I was very angry. I should have looked, but I didn't. I just got excited.
Got burned.
I love how everyone in the comments is talking about video games. This is fun.
Yeah.
What is Echo the Dolphin? Todd, the librarian, said, Echo the Dolphin. I had to call to find out how to beat the final boss. That's going back a bit.
I remember that one. That was the computer.
Echo.
What is Echo the Dolphin?
It's a computer game where you play Echo, who is a dolphin. And you go, I guess it's like, I don't know if it's a platformer, but you're basically just trying to get through levels. So you're going across the screen and there's like stuff trying to attack you, whatever genre of game that is. So there's like water currents and stuff that will sweep you away if you get stuck in them. And I think there's enemies that will try to nab you.
Oh, wow.
It
sounds like Super Mario.
Yeah. Very similar. But it was like 3D graphics, but in like a 2D plane, I guess. Do you remember that?
See Legend of Zelda being talked about too. I've never played Legend of Zelda, but I know that is a very game.
My brothers love that game. My brother Tyler and my brother Josh both enjoy Zelda. I was never a huge fan of it.
I think she's super.
They're good. I like Zelda. Do you like those ones? They are challenging though. They're I haven't played the new one. I don't have a Switch yet. I'll get one eventually, but I haven't got one yet. So but I have watched my brother play that one and it looks extremely hard. The new one does. So I'm a little scared on that because speaking of the old days of video games, I was like Ocarina of Time was the first Zelda game that I played, and that game took me forever to get through, probably years, and I never finished Majora's Mask because it was too hard for me.
Oh my god.
I just gave up.
I almost gave up on one of because the first Kingdom Hearts game, going back to Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah, speaking of hard games.
That one boss. What was that boss's name? It was in the Alice in Neverland world. That one boss.
The one that has the drums and the.
Oh yeah, and you're really. And then he lights up the batons. I was stuck on that freaking boss. And Thomas will try it every now and then, and he's getting close to throwing the controller at the screen. Like he's cussing, and he does that. He tends to forget that we have a 2- and 4-year-old in the house. He learned the word fuck, and he's like, and I'm like,
and he used it correctly.
He did. Oh my gosh, he knew how to use that word. He knew how to use it.
Thankfully, he stopped. What he did, I was proud.
Yeah.
I was slightly proud. I was slightly proud that he learned.
At least he's using it right.
No. No, anyways, yeah. So it took, finally we were able to beat it, and now we're almost done with the game. But what about Kingdom Hearts don't you like though? What would you change about Kingdom Hearts?
Well, considering I've only played Birth by Sleep and the first one, the camera angle, the camera control is absolutely terrible. I hate it 100%. I would rather have a fixed camera control. And the jumping. The jumping is.
Oh yeah.
Even like the action from the time you hitting the button on your controller to the time that the action is completed is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that would be the response times and the way the jumping dynamics work. Definitely, I would change that type of stuff.
Yeah. And it's hard because a lot of that game is timing. So you have to, jump at a certain time or do an attack at a certain time. And yeah, maybe that's why it is so hard. The first game, in my
first game the hardest though? Is that what I'm hearing correctly? Because I remember playing the second game, and the second game felt like it was a lot easier than the first.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my perception too, that the first game was really, really hard and the second game was a lot easier. It's been a while since I played them, but I think I only beat the first one once, and I think I've played the second one at least twice. But all the boss fights in the first one are really, really, really hard.
Yeah, I don't think so. I was just playing the first one, and I've only had one problem with the boss. The first
really
boss,
good.
first boss.
He's beaten all the bosses for me. I maybe beat like one or two. I beat Captain Hook.
Now we over level. We over level for our character too.
Good.
So the very first boss, once I went back and I leveled up her character, I was able to beat him easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
The other boss I had a problem with was the shadow guy.
Oh yeah.
And that was just because it was ridiculous. And once I went and leveled up, to her anger, I don't want to go through all those Shadowverse again.
Hold on.
Or the Heartless.
Hold on. I was not the only one that's angry. Okay? You called Sora mean names. But anyways, Todd, are you answering Todd's question?
No.
Because Todd asked.
We are going to talk about Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
Oh yes, yeah. We will. Don't worry, we'll get there.
Oh my gosh, she's getting ready.
I love that game.
Yes, Red Dead Redemption is one of my all-time favorite games, and then I just finished the second one like a month ago, I think. So
I haven't completely finished RDR2.
Yeah, it's long.
Because I wanted to go through I'm in the epilogue too, so I'm right there.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm just. I've been going around doing all the side stuff and exploring, so I'm just kind of burnt.
Here's Gabby.
And Resident Evil 2.
This is Gabby after Resident Evil. I'm writing a horror.
Red
Red
Dead. Hi, Avery.
I barely made a dent in this drink, guys. If any of us ever live closer or able to commute and meet up, I don't recommend drinking with me. You'll have to carry me.
You're light. You're only about 100
I'm not
pounds.
allowed to go drinking with my friends by myself. No.
You have to drink watered down drinks.
Okay, Jenna, future reference.
All right. Remember. Wow. Yeah. We'll talk on Twitter because I do have family on the East Coast. So next time I go and visit, we will definitely be in communication.
Awesome.
All right.
All the friends.
So back to Red Dead.
Are we doing Red Dead or are we doing Kingdom Hearts
I
still?
have no idea. Oh, thank you, Steve. I'm a fun drunk. That's great. This is not going to be embarrassing for me tomorrow. Knowing that. Knowing. At least you guys can see the real me, right?
True. Right.
This is true. Oh my god, I can't drink anymore. My first birthday all over again.
Okay.
At the end of the video, Lori's not even going to be on screen. It'll just be her shoulder in Thomas's lap.
Yep.
Oh,
I mean, there's still the fries.
fries sound really good.
You should go make them.
I don't want to walk.
Let's get a little bit further into the live show before. Oh my God, it's already been 45 minutes.
We're having a good time.
Wow.
We're going over an hour.
No,
We
that's
haven't
fine.
touched.
I didn't realize it was 45 minutes already. All right, so we're done with Kingdom Hearts now.
Okay, we're going to go Resident Evil. Or Red Dead Redemption, whatever, yeah.
So I honestly did not realize that Red Dead Redemption 2 was before
I found that out.
Red Dead Redemption.
Way to go, me. I did my research.
Because I played Red Dead Redemption in high school.
Yeah.
And middle school, high school. So I never really knew, or I didn't really pay attention to the year. I just knew
Sure, yeah.
I didn't really read the stuff until now. So now I'm going and I'm doing Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm actually paying attention. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that Marston and Abigail were in the first one.
Oh yeah. It's like slightly younger.
So what are your thoughts on RDR2?
So I'm gonna say, just in general, I personally liked the first one better. And I've kind of like circled around it, because for me, the first game is like, subjectivity, but like it's like a 10 out of 10 game for me. I really like the first one. It still has problems, but I really like it. The second game was more like a 7 or an 8. It wasn't like quite, and I think what I'm coming against is like two big issues. And the first one is I liked the story more in the first one. It was more of a like revenge, redemption kind of story, and where John Marston was at in his life, I thought was a little bit more interesting. He's this reformed outlaw. He's got a family, and he's just trying to get back to his family. Whereas Arthur is still very much in the outlaw life, and it's about him like coming out of it, which is just like a personal preference. I mean, Arthur's story is interesting too. It's not like it's, boring, but I just liked the story in the first game better. And then I think the second game has a little bit more of like the survivalist elements, I guess I would call it. Like there's this stuff where you have to worry about like, are you bathing enough? Have you eaten enough food? Are you sleeping? And then there's more things like how your weapons work on the horse. That drove me crazy for a really long time before I figured out exactly how that worked. Because I was like, I always used the it's like the repeater gun, which is like not one of the defaults. So like go into a story and like, where's my repeater? I only have a pistol. Ugh.
Oh, well, that was actually a mess up, because it was supposed to, if you went to the gunsmith, you set it up as your default, it was supposed to stay that way.
Yeah.
Unless you changed it.
Yeah.
And every time you ride the horse for so long, it would holster the weapons. And then you'd have to get off the horse and go fight the Murphy brothers or something.
Yeah.
And then
my gun.
Yeah, where's my gun? Where's my awesome gun?
Yeah, I want the cool gun back. Yeah, so like that was kind of the big thing that was like preventing me from really like loving it like I did the first one, but it is still a really good game, and the graphics are like leagues above the first one. It's beautiful. I just didn't even I don't think I quick traveled at all in the entire time I played. I just spent the extra time riding around just so you could look at all the scenery.
So Todd said in Red Dead RD2, we get to see Dutch's slow descent into madness. I had some issues with the weapon usage in this one.
I'm glad you can read.
I actually kind of thought that was weird. So you go in, you don't really know what happened in Blackwater. All you know is Dutch killed a girl, and that was always the thing. You don't kill women and children in the Van der Linde gang. And so that was kind of like, okay, so what happened?
Yeah.
And then I accidentally seen a spoiler for Micah, and that that happened.
Kind of like ruins the whole game.
Yeah. But I didn't like Micah in the first place.
Yeah, he's a slimy, like, scum.
Yeah. And I had already I tried to like put that out of my mind how I thought about the character, but I already saw that he was kind of like the one, like the way he looked, especially at the bank when, spoiler, Hosea dies. He's like, no. And then readers know, like, when a character is overly guilty, or overly judgmental towards someone else, or constantly saying, no, you're doing that, not me. They're looking at their own self and their own guilt. And it's like, they made it, they did kind of make it really obvious in the 4th, 5th, and 6th chapter on what happened. But I didn't really understand. I did. Mike is a douche.
Yeah, agreed.
I didn't really like how Dutch went crazy. I don't think they did that very well. I don't think they did Dutch crazy very well.
I would agree with that. It just kind of, I think the big issue for me is I feel like if I would have played the second game and then played the first game, I would have liked Dutch's descent more. But the fact that I've played the first game, and this is not a spoiler because Dutch is the main enemy the whole way through the first one. And so you already know that he like basically betrayed everyone and it turned into a crazy ass douchebag. And then to go to the second one, it was almost kind of like I don't want to say it ruined his arc completely, but it made me right on the opposite. I'm like, why? I hate your guts because I know what you did already. So at the beginning when Arthur's kind of trusting him, and we're just like, yeah, man, screw Dutch, screw what he wants. He's just a jackass.
Yeah, I think that's where me playing RD way back was, I didn't remember much from it. I just knew I enjoyed it. So I was able to really delve into the Red Dead Redemption 2. And I really, if they made a remake for RDR, I would buy it in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just because I knew that was that, from what I remembered of it, and this is why I thought RDR came before RDR 2, is because it was, I felt like it was more Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Red Dead 2.
Yeah. Yeah, because in Red Dead 2, you're kind of like, for the most part, in certain areas, in certain chapters. Whereas Red Dead, it's less so like that. You're kind of like everywhere until there's a part in the game where you go into Mexico and then you can't go back to the US. But even then, it still feels like there's this whole wide expanse. You can just go. And there's they tried to make the honor system have more meaning, which I appreciate. But I also am completely evil in those games, and I love running around and just murdering everyone and tying people to railroad tracks and like slaughtering them.
Oh my gosh, you're mean. Remind me to never piss you off.
Well, one thing you do,
oh my gosh.
Have you ever heard of Tagback TV?
What? Sorry?
The YouTuber Tagback TV.
No.
Okay, so he's been doing Red Dead Redemption playthroughs, and one of the things he always does is he'll stack 8 things of dynamite. Lay the person hog-tied down with their head on the dynamite, run backward, and then shoot a dynamite arrow over and into it and launch them over a cliff to see how far they go.
You like watching that.
It's very, very pleasing.
Can you imagine doing that to real people?
So next question.
This is the Hufflepuff versus the Gryffindor and Slytherin.
Well, this is why I was surprised that I was in Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed. See, he's not. Danny says you should play Assassin's Creed if you love the violence aspect. He's not in Assassin's Creed. Jenna, do you play Assassin's Creed?
I
I've
have not all of them. I played Odyssey. I think.
Was that the newest one?
Yeah, that's the
I
new
didn't
one.
like Odyssey. I took it back.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I like. Well, like I wouldn't say I dislike them, but they're not like my.
They're a
Yeah, I like the concept of them, but then there's like something about it that never quite clicks. I don't know, but I do. Yeah, those are really good for like just rampant violence against helpless innocent people.
live chat with evil people. You are corrupting my innocence.
Hey, you know what? It's a way of getting stress out without like actually murdering real people.
Hitman on the PS2. You walk into the park,
Oh yeah.
you walk into the club, shoot once into the air, and take a hammer to everybody.
Danny says the new AC games are completely different than the old ones gameplay wise.
See, I enjoyed it when I played it on PS3. I enjoyed it, and then I was like, oh, you know, maybe I'll enjoy Odyssey like I did then. But it was like she said, it's completely different, and it was pretty. It was different, and I didn't enjoy it.
I might have to try the earlier ones. I don't. For some reason, I kind of missed out on those. I didn't play those, so I have to go back. Is there a recommendation in the comments below?
Yeah,
any favorite Assassin's Creed game is.
Any games you can play on the PS4 or the Switch, let us know. We've actually been thinking about doing a once a month video game video.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yes.
Also, if you have any recommendations for a noob like me, I'm talking serious noob here. All right.
I get
I
Pokemon
actually.
today.
Who knows if I can play that? I'd probably fuck that up too.
He's gonna throw the controller through the TV.
We're not going to discuss my Lori moments here, okay? Or should we?
Danny, I almost bought Skyrim for the Wii or for the Switch.
Oh.
Well, I
Did you
was
say
thinking
Wii?
Nintendo.
The Wii is that's a throwback.
Yeah. Wow. Skyrim, that's a good game. All the Elder Scrolls.
Skyrim is a lot like Resident Evil in the fact that it designed or it remade a genre.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's people. Skyrim came out in the 90s, late 90s.
So
early 2000s.
like the original like Elder Scrolls is the series, and then Skyrim is one of the games. So I think Skyrim was like 2010, but I think the first Elder Scrolls was 90s, and I can't remember what the first one is. So I've played Oblivion, and Morrowind, which was before Skyrim, and I think there's one more, and like that was the first one, but I haven't played that one. But yeah, it like just.
I don't think I've actually beaten Skyrim.
No.
I mean, I've played it to the point where it's just like there's nothing that can stand in my way without me just obliterating it.
I never finished the story with the dragon.
Yeah.
Like, Dragonborn or whatever, and like I just get so far into it, like, I want to go do random stuff again.
I mean,
just go like take over the Assassin's Guild.
I am so lost right
now.
That
is the Elder Scrolls series is literally the one game where crouching around and bow and arrow.
Yeah.
The best weapon.
Yeah. Stealth archer all the way.
Oh, fun tough.
It's a good game.
Gotta get it.
Danny says to try Zelda.
Yeah, you might like Zelda. I think.
I've always wanted to try it, but
you might. Yeah.
You think I could actually play it without
I can't
making
be in the room.
a complete. You can't be in the room.
No.
He has this thing where it's kind of like, what do you call it, a backseat driver, but with video games.
Oh.
Like, because she's not observant.
I try. I'm me. You can't change me.
So there'll be 10
not?
chests.
Great, we're gonna go
in Kingdom Hearts.
We're gonna go into
and
this.
She'll like.
Oh my god. Boom. Link is my crush, Danny. I love you. Link is my crush.
You would love a fairy.
I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. No, who are you imagining?
Claire, she's pretty hot. The new one? I mean, she looks pretty. That looks like a movie.
Little short shorts.
You and I are gonna talk.
So, Resident Evil 0.
Wait. Before we get into that, I have a funny story to share. Okay, actually, a funny, creepy story. Was it one of the Resident Evil games that you played at your cousin's house? Was it a Resident Evil game?
Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Okay, so our daughter was sleeping in.
She wasn't asleep.
No, she wasn't, but we thought she was. So you know how you can get those cameras that you can put in your kids' room so you can check on them, monitor, right? Okay, so our daughter was sleeping in their son's room, and you or Emily were playing Resident.
I was.
He was, and it was just so creepy, right? So freaking creepy. I had to keep my eyes closed, right? I was so easily scared. And then looking at the monitor, we took the monitor, and here's Gabby just sitting in the chair, staring up at the camera lens. You know, you can't see her eyes is just completely like white or whatever. She looks like a human. Shut the game off. Shut the game off. Shut the game off. Like, no, she was just sitting there staring at it like, I see.
She was like looking into your soul through the camera.
Oh my God, Michael.
I was like, my daughter.
That's what I wanted to share. I can't get that in the
And all the lights were off too. So we're playing Resident Evil the way it was meant to be played.
Oh
And
the actual game.
I'm happy right now just thinking about it. It was so creepy.
I'm about to go play Resident Evil 2 on easy with the lights shut off just so I can enjoy the experience. that one definitely jumps out. And from like the original to now, how real it looks to now, it's like if it's anything like the jump out scenes in that one, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
You want me to have nightmares before you go to work, don't you?
You'll be okay.
No, I won't.
The lights are getting shut off.
You know what? Maybe I'll let the kids sleep in our room while you work.
No.
It'll be fine.
No.
You can't do anything if you
That's
at work.
a bad idea.
It's a wonderful idea, especially if I'm scared.
No.
Oh, yeah. I do want to play the second one again because they have the remaster, but I'm a little nervous because I remember certain parts of that game.
So here's what they did. It's not even, they said it's not a remake. There's actual things that are different.
Okay. I know they changed the camera angles, which got me very excited because that was the most frustrating part. Yeah.
Right analog is amazing. So remember the black cop?
Mm-hmm.
He's actually.
Hey, don't spoil it for her.
It's in the first 15 minutes of the game.
It's fine.
So that one was actually he actually meets up in the lobby. He saves your life.
Okay.
So they didn't so much remake it as.
So they have like tweaks, yeah.
They remade it.
Yeah.
So you have the same story but different.
Okay. That is interesting. I do like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they completely upgraded everything. You get a backstory on the semi driver. That was interesting. But you run around with a flashlight everywhere, and I'm literally about to change my settings on my lighting so I can see what's beyond the flashlight.
He wants to do this in complete darkness too, and I'm just like,
because all you have is this little circle of being able to see with the flashlight.
And then you turn and you see something, and you're like, nope.
And like you lift up this one soon-to-be zombie's head, and he hasn't turned yet. This is where I shut it off. And half of his face is ripped open, and you can see all the ligaments.
oh, and here's Gabby and Jason.
Daddy, is he okay?
Thomas, shut up.
Game.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I honestly don't think our kids will be as scared as I am. They
No,
seem
I
to
mean,
be
I
taking
could
it
totally.
fine. But I wouldn't worry.
Hey Bailey, thanks for coming.
Oh, Bailey, welcome. I'm tipsy.
Oh, she's watching it in line at the grocery store.
No,
Please
don't
tell your headphones.
don't put me in public like that.
Let the world see what's happening.
There's only a select few that can see Tipsy Lori. That's all you got right now. Don't put me on.
Wait, isn't Bailey's Book Babble the one we met at the
We didn't meet her in person.
I thought we did.
No, we did not. You were dreaming. Darling, I would know if we met any of our wonderful friends in public. Dropped in probably.
No, I was just thinking, what was that one girl's name that we met at the used bookstore? Wasn't she something similar to that?
No. She had the word Hobbit in her username.
Oh.
How do you get Hobbit from Bailey?
Because the whole Lord of the Rings series was a babble.
Oh, he hates Lord of the Rings. Jenna.
Oh.
Jenna.
Okay. Well, I like the movies.
I hated the movies.
Oh, really? Oh.
Wait, hold on. I don't know if Danny's still watching, but Danny loves Lord of the Rings.
Cut out half of the just walking around scenes and just keep the combat going, and I'll love it.
You can make your own fan edit. You can just cut.
Yes.
Lord of the Rings is life. By the way, can we talk about crushes here for Lord of the Rings?
No. You're not talking about the elf.
I would marry that elf.
You know what? A sniper rifle from 500 yards away, he's not going to stand a chance.
He has elf eyes. You can see it.
Let's see an arrow stop
don't
that.
hurt my Legolas like that.
Let's see an arrow stop a 50 cal bullet.
He's mean.
Dismemberment.
It's going to be Aragorn for me. I like him a lot better. He's got the rugged hair, little beard. Viggo Mortensen.
There really weren't any hot women in that one.
You didn't like Arwen? Arwen.
Is that the elf?
The brown hair one. Yeah.
No, not the
brown
elf.
haired one?
Brown haired one. The one that the one guy marries. I can't.
No. She wasn't memorable.
Fine, be that way. Anyways.
I feel the same way.
There's like 3 women in that whole
Yeah.
series. So there's like
Lord of the Rings.
I don't know where to choose from.
I feel the same way about Lord of the Rings that I do Harry Potter.
Mm.
And the fact that it's just lame. I think it's overhyped. Each movie was way too long. And I mean, what are they? They're 2 hours.
Yeah, I think it's more over. Yeah. I like the movies, but I'm also really interested in like practical effects and how they do things. And those movies had a lot of that, so I find that interesting. Gotta be honest, don't really like the books. I know people really love them. I've tried to get through them. They're just not for me. They're very much info dumpy. So if you like that, more power to you. I do like The Hobbit. I have read that, and I read that one as a kid, but that has a lot less of that.
I'm still intimidated to read like the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, I won't ever pick
and Louise, I know I'm hyper, but this is what you're gonna get when I drink alcohol.
So, games coming out 2019. Are there any that you're excited for?
Yes. So,
minus the ones that have already come out, like Kingdom Hearts and RE2 and all that.
I'm really into fighting games, so I'm looking forward to the Jump Force game that's coming out, which is like all of the like anime. So it's like Yu-Gi-Oh and Naruto and Dragon Ball Z. So I have pre-ordered that one. I pre-ordered that like last year.
You threw Yu-Gi-Oh into that one.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I know Yu-Gi-Oh's in there. Like,
Yu-Gi-Oh actually making it against. I don't see Yugi making it against Goku.
No. I don't know what his fights are going to be. I guess he's just going to summon monsters and then they'll do that because they don't actually do anything in Yu-Gi-Oh! They just play card games and it just like they have projectors so it looks cool. It's like, oh, there's like a dragon, but it's not actually a dragon there. So yeah, I am interested in that one.
I wonder if they're going to have Yu Yu Hakusho in it.
They are.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, they've got some older ones, and I love Yu Yu Hakusho. That's a lot.
That's not a well. There's not a huge amount of people that know about that one.
No about
Yu Yu Hakusho.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Like before Cartoon Network had Adult Swim, they had like I don't remember what it was called.
But,
right? Yeah, Toonami. Yeah, it used to be on that, right? Because I remember seeing it. I haven't watched it all the way through, but I do remember that one. And it was interesting. It was a fun one. It was really fun. But yeah, they've got Fist of the North Stars in it too, which is also
that sounds familiar.
Older one. That's like punching. Well, I guess they're all punching, but
I don't buy those types of games because I break controllers.
Yeah, they do get very frustrating. I like play them obsessively for maybe like 2 weeks and then I just stop as soon as I've unlocked everything. I've done that with every fighting game, so I'm sure that's going to be the exact same thing. I'll play it for like 2 weeks, hours a day on end, and then just be done. I'm like, that's it. Time to move on.
And what else after that one?
I'm trying to think what else is coming out this year. Just like on a general note, I really loved the Spider-Man game from last year. That was my favorite game. So I know that they're probably going to come out with more like DLC for that one.
It looked good from the gameplay. It's
fun.
I played when Spider-Man first went big, like the first movie came out before they remade it 500 times.
Oh my gosh.
I played that one on PS2, and I enjoyed it, but I'll never buy it. I haven't bought another superhero game because it's basically the same thing. And I wasn't sure about that on the new Spider-Man because it looks good, like graphics wise. Yeah,
I really liked it. I think what's nice about this one is the gameplay is very fluid and there's a lot of different approaches. So you can kind of customize how you want to play it. So I found that with my friend because she played it as well. And then she came over and we were playing it. And I noticed that even though it's the exact same game, we played it completely differently. So you can kind of be more like stealthy if you want to and be like flying through the air and sweeping, taking people out one by one, or you can just like jump into the fray and just take everybody out at once. And there's a nice mix of that too in the story. There's a lot of like stealth missions and then there's a lot of like, there's like 50 enemies coming at you right now. You got to just go for it, Spider-Man all of them. And I would say like gameplay wise, it's more similar to the Arkham games. If you ever played those, like the Batman ones.
No.
Okay. It's more of like a rhythm based game, where there's a subtle rhythm to how the combat works. And then when you get it's like very fluid and fast moving. But I really liked that one. I thought it was a ton of fun.
So you say the rhythm game style, and that kind of brought me back to Resident Evil 2.
Hold on a second. Todd is asking Jenna what's in the copper cup.
Aha, Moscow Mule.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fancy. And actually, this is a brand new copper cup because we just had mugs prior to this. So I actually have the intended cup. It was the drunk in.
So yeah, back to RE2. They came out with, you have your 3 difficulties. You have easy, normal, and hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you have those own things. and I think it might actually be on normal and hardcore. I don't know if easy has it, but it's called adaptive difficulty. So if you're failing miserably, the game makes it easier.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And then if you're doing really good, it makes it harder.
Yeah.
So
I
thought that was really cool that they came out with that.
That is really cool. Yeah. Because I noticed that sometimes in games, because I don't care about like, I got to beat this game on difficulty, whatever. I just want to have fun. So I noticed that sometimes when I'm playing, I'll have to like switch it down a level if I keep dying and getting really frustrated and pissed off. So I think that's cool that it kind of does that for you and it reacts to how you're playing, because I know there's a certain challenge in, not being able to get past a part and you have to keep trying and keep trying. But that can also be a huge barrier, because if you just like cannot get past a certain part, then you just can't finish the game.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, I can't beat it. I'm done.
Yeah.
So the games I'm excited for this year, obviously the ones we just picked up, but Capcom actually released with the amount of, it's not going to be this year, but the amount of support they got for RE2, they're actually talking about remaking and doing the same thing with RE3, Nemesis.
Oh.
Yeah, it goes all the way up to 7.
What?
With a bunch of side games.
Yeah.
Although 7's kind of a side game.
Yeah.
So,
if they did 4, I would be pre-ordering that. I still have 4. That's like my favorite. That's my favorite Resident Evil game. I love
the gun upgrade system.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that there was.
I was actually gonna we would have spent like $280 today if I could have.
Tax return back.
Yeah.
I did not buy any books. No.
I didn't buy any books either.
You did. You bought one. Crooked Kingdom.
Oh yeah, so I can finally read that and finish it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because that whole Netflix series that's coming out.
Yeah.
And the Resident Evil Netflix series.
Yeah, that's great.
I am excited. I hope they follow the games more than the movies did.
Yes.
Although I did love the movies.
I do like the movies too. They're very cheesy, but they're fun.
Non-stop action.
Like, Mila Jovovich. I can never pronounce her last name, but the main Mila Jovovich, whatever. You know who I'm talking about. I love her. She's great. Whenever she's in action movies.
I will keep bringing up Legolas. I'll put Legolas posters all over this room. Fuck, I can't compete with that. Damn it.
So another game that I'm excited for, but I'm kind of nervous about, is Anthem. I didn't like Destiny.
What is Anthem?
Yeah.
So I thought Destiny was a lame attempt to spin off of Halo.
Yep.
And they did an absolutely terrible job. And from the reviews, Anthem looks like a open world type thing.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that's true. But I don't know. Like, I almost pre-ordered it today.
Yeah. I'm a huge BioWare fan. In case anyone doesn't watch my channel, I mention Mass Effect in like every single video that I do.
No, some reviews.
Mass Effect's so good, but they're making Anthem too, and it's the first BioWare game that I haven't like immediately wanted to buy. And it is, yeah. I pre-ordered Destiny, which was a giant mistake. That was a huge waste. I don't normally like multiplayer games, but there are some that I do like, and Destiny tricked you because they said that it was going to be more of like, it's this whole world and it's going to be like super deep and there's like all this like lore, and then the actual game was just really boring. There's like 2 enemies you fight.
The weapons, once you got to a certain point, it was like,
the
weapons are only going to be good in PvP.
Yeah.
And it was just a huge letdown. And I thought it was going to be good like Halo.
Yeah.
And
Halo's fun, the online.
Yeah.
Just yeah, just
I sit around playing Halo on the 360. 4 guys arguing over, oh, you're free peeking. But it was amazing. You could, I mean, the ice level, you could freaking scope somebody out with a rocket launcher from clear across the map. All you have to do was lead them. You actually led them. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to do it because it looks like a great game. But I'm just really, I don't want to waste my money.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get it back.
Yeah, I'm definitely 100% waiting for reviews on that one. Because I got burned by Mass Effect Andromeda, not going to lie. I actually kind of hate that game.
I enjoyed the dialogue.
Yeah.
But I didn't finish it. I sold it off. I got about halfway through and I was just kind of like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it just watered down.
Yeah, I thought you were going to get to choose like what each world was going to, like what you wanted it to be, research station or
right, yeah.
And you did that one on the very first, the desert world. But after that, it was all, oh yeah, I went and did this. I killed a bunch of people, and I'm using the same gun for the last 7 hours.
Yeah.
I was looking at Just Cause 4. I never played the other 3. I never even heard of them.
No, I haven't heard of that one, yeah.
It looks good from the case, but I'm not sure about it. That's another one I'm going to wait for reviews.
Yeah.
I was a big Walking Dead fan until they killed off all the main characters.
Yeah.
I stopped watching after I got spoiled for one character death.
We stopped watching the mid-season finale of season 8 before they killed Carl.
Yeah.
Carl.
Yeah. I just got way behind in that show, and then I started hearing from people. I was like, yeah, like it's terrible. It's awful. They kill everyone. So then I just never finished it. I got to whatever season it was where they're like in the prison.
3, 4.
Yeah, very early.
With the governor.
Oh, he
was a fucking menace.
He was
horrible. I was so happy when he died.
Yeah. It was a good season. That one was good.
That was. I mean, they have a lot of strengths in that show. You develop these attachments, but it's just like
yeah, it just went on too long.
Yeah. It didn't have the survivability. Now I watched, this is coming from a guy that said I watched Charmed and Supernatural. I haven't seen the new Charmed yet. I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not.
Yeah.
So those two, Supernatural is still going on. They might be ending it on season 13.
Yeah.
Because that'll be, 300 episodes, I think?
That's a lot.
I used to watch Supernatural, like, religiously, but I still love the first 5 seasons, but I stopped watching in season 8. It just, the magic died. It was too much. I mean, it was kind of like, sorry, spoilers to the chat if anyone has not watched Supernatural, but like season 5 was like, where do you go when it's the apocalypse? Like, how do you,
well, how many times
top that?
How many backups to the apocalypse are there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like,
so that was my thing. Is it's the same. They don't want to kill the characters off. So
yeah,
Walking Dead is too willing to kill characters off, and Supernatural is too scared to kill characters off.
Yeah.
But our viewers are dropping like flies.
I think everyone's tired.
So I think we're going to have to
we could actually
stop broadcasting and continue the conversation offline.
Yeah, that works. I can keep talking for probably like half an hour yet because I have to work in the morning. But
so I don't have to work until Saturday.
Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah. Saturday night.
Sleep.
No.
Yeah, but I can definitely keep talking for till. Okay, you guys are in Eastern time, so 10 your time. Yes.
How far west are you?
I'm in Central time, so it's just an hour behind.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you guys are in the future. I'm in.
That's so weird to think about.
Well, that's like when I was in Afghanistan. I was 12 hours into your future.
Oh,
You try to be romantic.
No, I'm just being honest.
Okay, the drink's talking. All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us and hanging
Yeah.
out. It's great. I think this is the most tipsy I've ever been. Not gonna lie. The shot did it. But we hope to see you all next month, and you'll just have to wait and see who our mystery guest is. But thank you so much, Jenna, for joining us. We love having you.
Thanks for inviting me. It was a ton of fun.
So we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.